How do you find message market fit for a SaaS company very fast? And the first thing I want to talk about is something that always necessarily precedes any form of message market fit, which is a sufficient product market fit, right? So a PMF. And in this case, I'm gonna define a PMF as essentially, any sort of tangible, actual demand for what you've been building, right? It solves a problem, and there is some proof to suggest that people are interested in this particular solution. So this precedes message market fit, and the reason for that is why would you even want to relay the benefits of a product in a message if the product is not even good and nobody wants it, right? So it actually comes first. The product and product market fit always comes before message market fit in this case. So obviously you want to find message market fit, right? You want to go from this to MMF, message market fit. And this is not easy for a lot of people, right? A lot of people have excellent products, but they just don't know how to communicate it sufficiently. And what this means is that, they could be getting all these crazy deals. They could be getting the interest of enterprise companies, but because they don't know how to formulate the value of their product, people don't have the attention spans to sit and really understand what your benefits are. That's what people need to understand. Like, nobody has time to sort of correct your broken language and your broken formulations of any value proposition. Like, people don't have time for that. There's too many products, there's too many competitors on the market for stuff like that. So you have to find this quickly. And the question is, how do you do that? And that's what I'm going to cover. So one thing that's extremely important here is volume, right? You want some sort of data that is actually statistically significant, so you can derive conclusions that are meaningful. Now, what this means is that, let's say you have 10 customers and you ask them, right, what did you think about the messaging? And they all say it's excellent, right? It converted me, it's excellent, right? But there's a few problems there, right? So one, n equals 10, right? You have a observation base of 10 people. It's not enough. And also these people already purchased. So, maybe that sort of messaging resonated with them. And, that's a fact, right? People have different ways of them wanting to be communicated to. Like, people will respond differently to different types of messages because of their personality type, etc. But there will be averages, right? You can say that this particular piece of messaging on average converts more people. So how do you do that, right? So as I said, it's a volume game here. And you have a few options, right? So let's go through some of them. So LinkedIn DMs, right? You reach out to people on LinkedIn or other types of social media and ask them if they want to buy your product, right? Problem is, on LinkedIn, there's a lot of restrictions. You can't push enough volume. So I would say this is not a good channel to sort of do this if you want to do it very fast. Another one is organic content. It's okay, but if you don't have a large following, if you don't have time to actually pump out a ton of content, I wouldn't say that's sustainable. We have paid advertising. It's, to be honest, it's a bit expensive. Obviously you can do that, but also you don't have control of the actual audience. That's one of the things with paid advertisement, right? You can actually control the audience very carefully. So that leaves one option that's left, which is cold email, right? Cold email is an excellent channel for very, very rapidly testing for message market fit. And there are some exceptions to this, right? So if you have a very, very small TAM, if you have 1,000 enterprise accounts worldwide that you can target, maybe it's not for you. But if you have a relatively large total addressable market, then you want to do cold email. And you want to do it strategically. So you don't just want to whip up, some sending tool and start sending out a few cold emails. That's not how it works. You have to really, really sit down and spend a few days actually formulating different ways of finding your message market fit. And you have to just sit there and just relentlessly just grind it out, like writing down every single benefit of your product, naming every single competitor you have and why your product is better. What problems are you exactly solving? Write out every single problem that you solve for the prospects, and then use all this information to craft, different angles. You can write up to 10 angles or something, whatever. There's not one clear answer to how many angles you have to test, but you got to test a good bunch of different angles, right? It will depend on the product, how many you have to test. So why is this so amazing, right? So obviously one of the reasons why is that cold email is dirt cheap, and you can get some very, very low cost per meetings and low customer acquisition cost. Also, you control the audience, you can control it very carefully, especially if you're doing something that we're doing here at Scalander, which is actually pre-qualifying every single lead on a lead list, right? So taking their company description and comparing it to what you do, and then you have the AI spit out an answer whether or not they're qualified. You can also ask the AI to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, how qualified they are for your service, and you can take the ones that are 7 or above, for example. And in this way, you really, really carefully control who you actually reach out to, because obviously you only care about product market fit for your particular ICP. So that's why that's so smart. And then you can scale this up very fast. Like you can start sending 5,000 emails tomorrow, right? For not a lot of money. It honestly does not cost that much to get started with this. So it's an excellent strategy for bootstrap companies, especially. I mean, if you have a ton of funding and you can just spend whatever you want on ad spend, or multiple different channels, you want to hire 10 cold callers, whatever floats your boat. But if you're bootstrapped, or if you just this is also a good strategy for funded companies, right? Like just really going hard on cold email. And it works for all types of ICPs. Like I've seen some people say that, cold email only works if you're dealing with a market where there's not a lot of prospect sophistication as it pertains to cold email, or, where they generally respond better to sort of outreach and stuff. But I disagree. I think any human who actually checks their inbox and when they see a good offer that's, not generic, and, there's some degree of pattern interrupt, right? You can get a hold of that decision maker. And what you want to do is that you want to run these tests for a few weeks or months, and then you want to use that data to actually conclude like which one of these angles turned out to be the best. And then you just have to go all in on that. So you take that one angle, you build new variations off of that, and you test those, and you keep going and going and going. And what you'll end up with is just messaging that works extremely well. And this is what I did with one client. So I think in 3 weeks, we tested, a bunch of different types of messaging. And what we found was that one stuck out in particular, which was essentially, a very short email with a lead magnet and then a PS line with more information about the company and case studies. It worked so well. It completely converted like everyone on that campaign. It was crazy. And during that, we also tried to we tested another angle, which was essentially a longer email with more information. And it converted nothing, right? It was a complete flop. And this is why you really got to be careful. Like a lot of people, they prematurely conclude that cold email doesn't work, but in reality, that one angle, right, that one angle that's just gonna completely crush it. It's hidden somewhere in the haystack, right? So even if you test 5 angles and it doesn't work for the first month, instead of giving up, try 5 more, right? It could be the 6th one that is gonna be the gold nugget, and the one that's actually gonna take you to the next level. So I hope this was helpful. I would definitely recommend doing this. If you need help with it, if you don't know how to, set up these cold email campaigns, if you don't know how to ensure great deliverability while sending thousands of emails, and you don't know how to personalize it at scale, etc., then we here at Scalender, we set up these systems for a one-time fee, and then we consult you on how to use them. So it's essentially a shortcut if you don't want to go through the trial and error that you will otherwise have to do. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.